kiddos. It's Grandpa Ken. Oh, I'm so happy. Here I am as Count Dracula Grandpa Ken. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's me. We got a great story today, so get ready. Get all comfy, snuggled up in your blanket, or you might even have your pet animal, stuffed pet animal. You might even have your kitty cat or your puppy, because we're going to sing a little bit, but not much. CinderHazel. CinderHazel, yep, she's the Cinderella of Halloween. So let's go. You ready, kiddos? I am. But there's smaller letters and getting old and whoops. It was another day in the dust bin for Hazel. Why, her two snobby sisters, Hermione and Heidi, had fun eating and making spells and muttering curses, and it was Hazel's job to clean up the floor. Hazel swept from one end of the room to the other until the entire floor was covered with a thick layer of dust. Oh, see the difference, kiddos? She didn't dust it clean. No. See, she dusted it dirty. You know, Hazel, said Hermione, instead of sweeping, you could fly that broom. I'm no good at flying it, said Hazel. She scooped up a pan full of ash and poured it right on top of her head. This is what I'm good at, bellowed Hazel. Dirt. You are disgusting, absolutely yucky, said her stepmother. All you think about is dirt for all this time you spend in that fireplace. We ought to call you CinderHazel. Ooh. Would you ask, Hazel? Oh, see? Sometimes, if you find out what they mean, she liked it. What do you think, kiddos? Would you like that? I'm not sure I would. That very night, while CinderHazel played jacks with dirty lumps of coal, her stepmother and stepsisters got all spiffied up. They combed their frightful hair and coated their shoes with very clean shoe tar. Oh, sounds normal. Going somewhere? Said CinderHazel. Why, tonight's the witch's Halloween ball, said Hermie. And CinderHazel, stepmother, rumors has it that Prince Alarming might come out of hiding tonight. Whoa. Yes, courted Heidi, and he's looking for a bride. Does this all sound familiar, kiddos? But CinderHazel, you can't come. We don't want to be seen with you. That's right, said Hermione. You're so messy, you'd make us look bad. Girls, said the stepmother. CinderHazel couldn't get there. If she wanted to just look at that cracked broom. The three of them laughed and laughed. Then they leaped onto the brooms and blasted out the windows. Oh, who cares, muttered CinderHazel. Who wants to dance with some haughty-tawdy prince anyways? What do you think? Do you think that's really the way she feels, kiddos? I don't know. Not the way the original was. But as the night grew darker and darker, CinderHazel started to simmer. Think they can tell me what to do? I'll show them. CinderHazel squished her hat in her head, grabbed her broom, and jumped on. Snap! The broom broke. CinderHazel growled. She crossed her eyes, she crossed her fingers, she crossed her legs and twisted around in a circle. Puff! CinderHazel's hat turned into a pile of dirt. Oh no! Nuts! Yelled CinderHazel. I'm staying home. Besides, there's not a single thing I'd like over at the palace That's what you think, said a voice. That's what you think, said a voice. I thought she was home alone. Cinderella, who's that? Yeah, I would have said that too. A big cloud of smoke exploded in the middle of the room. Poof, whoosh! There stood a short little plump witch dressed in dirty dish rags. Wow, great clothes, said CinderHazel. Who are you? I'm your witchy godmother, replied the witch, and I can believe you're not going to the ball. Didn't you know there are 15 filthy fireplaces over there? Really? Asked CinderHazel. Really, said the witch, and there's something else your stepsister didn't mention. Prince Alarming is the king of dirt. Whoa. If I were you, I wouldn't let them keep you from going. By my witchy wig, you're right, pronounced CinderHazel. Then she frowned at her broken broom. Oh, look at her godmother. She's not quite as pretty and stuff as the one in Cinderella. Step aside, said the god witch. This is my job. She waved her arms around and head and said, bad old bats and toad that's meaner, make this broom a vacuum cleaner. Boom! The broom vanished, and in its place sat a nice, slightly used Hoopler vacuum cleaner. Now, toot off, meet your prince, said the good witch, and remember, my spells don't work past midnight. CinderHazel sat down on the canister, grabbed the hose, and pulled back. Vroom, 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 went the vacuum cleaner. And if it flew up the chimney with, you bet, CinderHazel, up that chimney they went on that vacuum cleaner. CinderHazel zoomed across the sky towards the palace. A magnificent trail of charcoal smoke billowed behind her. With downward twist on the hose, CinderHazel and her vacuum down the biggest chimney you'd ever seen. Oh, see, they're going down the biggest chimney she's ever seen, and she loves chimneys. Okay. CinderHazel landed in the hearth of the good, grand ballroom. The party was full swing, and CinderHazel was full of dirt. CinderHazel was so yucky that even she wouldn't have known herself. Look, cried the stepsister, Hermie, pointing at the mess that was CinderHazel. It's that dirty prince. Oh, squealed Hildy. The prince came out of hiding at last. Princey, Princey, all the witches cried as they tagged and tugged at CinderHazel out of the fireplace. Oh, do you know what that means, kiddo? Yeah. Who was up in the fireplace, huh? It wasn't just CinderHazel, was it? No. Hey, wait a minute, cried Hermie, squinting at the dirty face. That's not the prince. That's my stepsister, CinderHazel. What's that thing with her? Asked Hildy. It looks like a vacuum cleaner. Ha 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 ha, she not scuffed until everyone was laughing in the whole room. But across the ballroom, two beady little eyes were watching from behind a trash can. Stop the laughing, or I'll put a spell on you, growled CinderHazel. This made everyone roar even louder. Ha ha ha! So CinderHazel crossed her eyes, she crossed her fingers, she crossed her legs and twisted around in a circle. Poof! All the witches' broomsticks turned to dirt. Oh, now she's gonna get mad because now they gotta walk, huh? Yeah, that ain't gonna happen with witches, is it? Dust covered everyone in the room. The witches were furious. Clean up this mess or we'll put a spell on you, they screamed. Oh, fooey, said CinderHazel. She chanted, I've a newt and a raven's wing. Rise up, old Hoopler, and make them clean. The vacuum cleaner rose into the air and headed for the witches. It sucked up the dirt, but it also sucked up their socks, and it sucked up the punch and paper decorations all over the place. Oh no! It was a super vacuum. Da-da-da-da-da-da! Make it stop, yelled Hildy. CinderHazel ran across the ballroom and grabbed the trash can and heaved it at the hoopla. Just then, the palace clock began to strike midnight. Oh no, with the 12th dong, 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 dong. The brooms and party goods blew across the room, and at dong, dong, the witchy godmother's magic wore off. The vacuum cleaner vanished, and kerplunk! CinderHazel's broom fell into cracked pieces on the floor. Oh, that must have been terrible for her, kiddos. The witches piled onto the mess, screeching for their shoes and their hats and their brooms and their socks. Just then, the biggest dirt ball CinderHazel had ever seen walked up to her. "Ooh, yucky!" exclaimed CinderHazel's sisters, of course. CinderHazel had ever seen one this wonderful. "You're filthy. That's my name, all right," said the dirt ball. "Prince Filthy Alarming, and I must say you are the dirtiest thing I've ever seen." "Thank you, your royal filthiness," CinderHazel replied. "Why have you been hiding so long?" "Partly because I was told not to," said the prince, "and partly because it's such a boring dance that with a bunch of hotty-toddy witches. Yuck, they're so clean." Oh, get it? Yep. See, you can't always tell what everybody is. "You know, I came here tonight because I was told not to," said CinderHazel, and she rubbed her nose, and with the hem of her skirt, the prince thought for a moment. "I would ask you to stick around," he said, "but I'm not sure there's enough dirt for two of us." "That's what you think," cried CinderHazel. "Check this out." She threw back her head, and she crossed her eyes, she crossed her fingers, she crossed her legs, and she rolled around like a tornado. Kaboom! An explosion of fireplace soot blew all over the witches outdoor. Oh, goodness, what did CinderHazel do this time? Uh-oh. Not to be outdone, the prince squinted and stuck out his tongue. Kablam! Dirt showered down from the ceiling. "Obviously," said CinderHazel, "there's plenty of dirt around here. But who says I want to stay?" "Fine," said the prince. "Go away. I can see we can't stand each other." But CinderHazel didn't go away, and of course she and the prince actually liked each other a lot. In fact, they lived filthily ever after. What do you think, kiddos? Is that a good one? It was long, I know, but you can pause at any time. You guys come back. We're having a whole Halloween month, and it's a lot of fun. And Count Dracula might make another appearance. 1, 2, 3, 4.